So Jason Lloyd of The Athletic was on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and he was just talking about the Deshaun Watson situation. And the best way he could describe it was that it's weird. Like this whole training camp, everything going on with the team with Deshaun is just weird. And kind of detailed how Kevin Stefanski said, they were hoping to get him some playing time in the final preseason game. And then Deshaun comes out and says, well, that's news to me. And it's like, and he's 100% correct. The whole thing is weird. And do you want to know why it's weird? Because Deshaun Watson's weird, and so are the Cleveland Browns. Like, that's how this works. Like, my wife's got dark hair, and so do I. If my son came out a redhead, I might be reaching out via DM to Canelo and be like, hey, man, when's the last time you were in town? I'm just curious. I got to know what's going on here. Like, for my, my own peace of mind. Can you please, like, if I could just get a heads up, like, let me know. Like, usually, when two things get together, it usually spits out the same thing. And that's what's happening here. Deshaun Watson's a weirdo, and the Cleveland Browns are weird. So, of course, this situation is weird. And it's been weird from the jump. Like, listen, man, like, we've talked about it before. I don't want to go through and read all the transcripts of, like, all the reports and details of what the guy was into and what he liked to do and the fact that, he liked to, like, put his leg, like, listen, you can look all that stuff up. But that's, like, weird behavior. It just is. Like, the whole thing, like, it just, I'm sorry, it is. Just like it was weird behavior when he signed a contract in Houston to be with the Texans long term, even, yes, after they traded away DeAndre Hopkins. He sat up there, he cried, he thanked the owner of the Texans, he thanked Bill O'Brien, like, he thanked everybody. He was so emotional, loved being in Houston, and was so grateful for the extension, that generational wealth, and the opportunity to be their franchise quarterback. And then, less than a year later decided, I don't want to play here anymore. And basically just sat out. I don't want to play. Yeah, I'm just not interested. And then all the allegations come out and all that stuff happens. So, with all that being known, weird upon weird, what do the Cleveland Browns do? All right, I'll see you weird, and I'll raise you weird. We're going to go ahead and make it public that we would have some interest in Deshaun Watson, even though we do have a starting quarterback who, won us our first playoff game in years, and it was on the road, has shown the ability to play good football. And, we were discussing a contract extension, but we'll make it public and let it be known that we're interested in Deshaun Watson so that we alienate our relationship with our current quarterback, forcing him to go public and then forcing us to go out and get really aggressive with Deshaun Watson. And in fact, you know what? All of that was weird, but we'll get even weirder. Hey, buddy with the weird background and the guy that alienated his former franchise, how about this? We'll do you a solid. Here's an unprecedented $230 million guaranteed contract. What do you say your weirdness and our weirdness get together and try and create something magical, something really weird? And that's exactly what's happened. It's been awkward since he got there. It's been uncomfortable since he's gotten there. Like, you haven't gotten anything close to whatever it is that you had shelled out in money and guarantees and all. Like, the whole thing is just odd. And it continues to get odd. Like, last year's handling of his injury. Like, 1 minute it was like, well, he was a little roughed up. And then it was Kevin Stefanski came out and said, I think it's just maybe a pain tolerance thing. And it's like all these, like, back and forth through the media. And then he goes out and plays. And then they've got to, backtrack. And you've got position coaches saying, oh, well, he's as tough as they come. And he's this. And then Kevin Stefanski backtracks on all that. And then Deshaun Watson has to come out and speak on it. And then you find out, oh, no, wait, he suffered this injury way before this and played through it. And I was like, Okay. All right, so he's not going to... All right, so that's a bummer. Hey, legitimate injury, that's fine. Cool. I mean, man, they're really going to struggle. No. Joe Flacco walked in off a futon somewhere in Delaware and won Comeback Player of the Year. Like, while Deshaun just kind of sitting there, but you know, they made this preseason, everything's fine. His arm was sore in this camp, but like he hadn't really thrown the ball like all that much reportedly. So like, how's your arm sore? And then he was going to play, and then now he's not going to play, and we're just going to wait for Bro, like, that's what you get. Like, from the jump, the whole thing was odd. Like, it didn't make any sense from the start. None of it. Not even just the decision to sign him. The decision to sign him and give him the deal that you gave him, what you gave up in a trade to acquire him, his handling with his previous organization after he signed a contract, and his handling of his personal life. Like, none of it made sense. It was all odd from the jump. So no, I'm not surprised. Jason Lloyd of The Athletic, you are correct. It's weird because it's been weird this entire time, and that's what you get when you put those two weirdos together and try and expect something different.